All right, I think we're recording here. Block 2, Physical Science. Mr. Schmershny here, coming live from the couch. Got Simi to bed. You guys, I was probably here for the start of class, but then I left. Hopefully this took you about 5, 6, 7 minutes. Building on what we did yesterday, talking about graphing motion. Okay, so you guys are going to do some practice today and then wrap up with a little quiz. I'll let Mrs. Huss decide if you can check it with a partner or not. Going through everything here, your guys' graph did not have color, but you had portion A of the graph, portion B of the graph, portion C of the graph, portion D of the graph, and E of the graph. I know my photocopy might not have came out great, but if you guys have not really tried all these, I don't want phones to be out. Mrs. Huss, take their phones away. They all have things they can be working on. If you haven't tried all these, please pause the video and go back and work. Otherwise, I'm going to buzz through the answers fairly quickly here, okay? Jumping into the first one here, remember, if we go look, this is not a plane flying into the sky and leveling off and that's not it at all. We have to think about our zero, our origin, as a starting point of motion of what we're doing. So if we look right here, we start at 0 and it looks like we walk away, we stop, we get to B. At B, what ends up happening is we stand still because we're at 60, we're at 60, we're at 60. Pay attention to your units. I think mine are kind of cut off, but I think it's seconds down here. Then we don't dig underground. We turn around. We go the opposite direction from A, and we start walking back towards the origin, back towards the origin. Right here, we do not go underground. We pass our starting point. If I started at the park, I went away from the park. Now I walk past the park. Now I'm walking away from the park, and then at E, we turn around and walk back towards where we started. So, number 1 says, what portion of the graph shows the object moving toward the origin, everybody? At part C, we are walking back towards the origin, and at part E, we are walking back towards the origin. That's it. Number 2 says, at which point is it moving at a steady pace? Now look at what's italicized. Moving means moving. Steady means it's a straight line and it's not curved, okay? So that would be part A, because it's moving at steady pace. C is moving at a steady pace. D is moving at a steady pace. And E is moving at a steady pace. B is not moving, which is number 3. Number 4 says, which show the object moving away from the origin. Well, at part A here, I'm moving away from the origin pretty fast. And then here at part C to D, I cross the origin, and then I start moving away from it. So A and D would be the 2 parts we're moving away. Number 5, everybody, I would probably normally encourage you to do some work on number 5. However, we can also just be problem solvers. And when it says the fastest, that does not matter if it's up or down. It's just which is going at the highest speed. I personally, you can go do the math, but I actually know that from our next one, that A is the fastest because it is the steepest line. You know, these other ones are steep, but none of them are as steep as A is. And the steeper the line, the faster the car is going because we're covering more distance per time. Okay, so then on part 6 it says what is the speed of part A. So I kind of made you do it to kind of probably check your work on number 5. But what we do then is find the slope. And everybody, if we have this right here, what we do is we see, well, part A started at 0 and it went to 60. So he covered 60 meters and he started at 0 and went to 10 seconds. So he went 60 meters in 10 seconds. If we simplify that, we say he was going 6 meters per second. Okay. What we'll do next week is add direction to that. That would be 6 meters per second away from the origin. At number 7 then, it says at what time was it farthest away? Guys, if you go look here, part A, it starts to go far away. At part D down here, we're 40 meters behind the origin. But up here at part B, we're 60 meters away. And that's the furthest we ever are away because then we turn around and walk back. All right, so pretty short and sweet, but now what you guys are going to do is I believe there's 4 practice pages in your packet. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. It's on the board. Mrs. Huss has some type of answer key. You're going to do 2 pages at a time. So you're going to do the first 2 pages. You're going to come up with her, at least, and you can work with partners in lab. I'm fine with that. You're going to check her answer key. If something's wrong, you're going to mark it and go back and fix it and then make sure it's squared away and right. Then you'll do the last 2 pages, and they're all challenge questions about motion and graphs. You guys will take a short break, and then you'll have a short motion quiz. If we're not quite ready for that, I still want us to try it. We can take a new one next week if we need to, but I think you guys will do great. And then last but not least, you'll start working on some speed calculations and getting ready for lab next week. So behave for Mrs. Huss. Make sure you guys have a great 4-day weekend. Hopefully we don't freeze at Columbus today. I will be keeping a close eye on Daphne and Camden, Alex, and Sydney since they're all gone at the meet with me in Columbus. So get your stuff done. Help each other. If you have questions, ask each other. Mr. Champ across the hall can probably help as well if you need it. Have a great 4-day Easter weekend, everybody. See you later.